across different cities now. So he's just trying to like promote it in the Latino community here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's giving out samples, but Larry, talk to me, man. What made you come to the Latinos Legacy Network and jump on this podcast with us?
All right. So first, I definitely have to shout out our Omar Cedillo.
Yes.
He told me about the event. He knows that I'm in the community. I do loans for everyone in the community at a high volume. So I wanted to be part of this, show up, participate, and see what this was about.
I appreciate that. Well, it really means a lot to the community when other communities, get involved. I think we're trying to make sure, I'm sure you've seen a lot of different people from outside the Latino community here. So
sure, of course.
It's definitely cool to see you guys come on, not just come to the events, but jump onto the podcast and talk about how, we can either collaborate or what you guys are doing to help the Latino community. I think that's always cool.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been in real estate?
About 6.5 years now.
Wow. What made you go into real estate?
So it was kind of by chance.
Yeah.
It wasn't my idea, but long story short, I got transferred from New York to Concord.
Yeah.
That job quickly went south,
Yeah.
and a friend of mine was a realtor and told me I should try this loan officer thing. And I said whatever, and I gave it a shot, and I ended up being pretty good at it.
That's awesome. So 6 years since that moment, and you continue to love what you're doing?
Oh, man. I wish I would have started 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do people usually, or I guess in my world, I don't know a lot of, I met a couple of mortgage lenders, but why is it important for mortgage lenders to connect with the buyer or the seller? Tell me a little bit about that. Or do they have to get involved at all?
In some cases, yes. So that's a really hard question to answer.
Okay.
Because for my business model, my client first is the realtor.
Okay.
So I cater to the realtor and their needs to let them know that, I'm here for them, I can help them and help their clients.
Yeah.
And then when you're under contract and everything, before that, of course, we talk with the buyers. We explain the process to them. We explain, everything about the application and everything about all the different loan products and present options to them.
Yeah.
But then when we're under contract, then yeah, sometimes we have to talk to like the listing agent or the seller and educate them on what's going on.
That's cool. I think. I mean, from my perspective, I bought a house 2 years ago, and I really never got involved with the mortgage lender. I think the real estate agent I was working with was kind of doing everything for us. But it's always cool to just know what's actually happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, of course. So there are a lot of lenders that kind of play the back end where they don't really communicate much with the buyer.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily my business model.
Okay.
Predominantly, my client base is Latino, and 90 to 95% of them prefer Spanish.
Yeah.
And a lot of them is Spanish only, so there's no option for English.
Yeah.
So I have built a team specifically to communicate with them through the entire process.
That's
Help
awesome.
them do the loan application, right? They'll take it over the phone instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to email you a link, go in and do this. Because the applications come to you in English.
Yeah.
If they don't speak English, they're not going to be able to do the application properly.
Right.
So I have a team of assistants that are first language Spanish, and they'll do the application over the phone. They'll explain the process to them over the phone, send them information through text or WhatsApp. Always keeps the realtor in the conversation.
Right.
And it's all the way from the start to once they go under contract, once they go into once they're in underwriting. I have another team that reaches out to them in the language that they prefer. So they're covered in their native language from start to finish, so they fully understand the entire transaction.
That's amazing because that's really important. I think me thinking back when I was younger and my mom was going through this and she didn't speak English at all well, but she didn't have that help. There was nobody there to translate. I actually had to translate some stuff, and I'm sure I did a horrible job looking back at it now. But honestly, I love what you're doing, and I appreciate that you're taking the time to help the Latino community, especially those that, again, that might not necessarily speak the language or can read it, and they really, really need that to understand what they're signing up for and what they're getting, right?
Yeah, no, there's a lot that so I got into this demographic kind of by like
I was gonna ask
chance.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, how I got into it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you could probably take a wild guess that I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, that was actually my second question to you. Habla español, okay.
Estoy aprendiendo.
Oh, there you go. Hey, you know Spanish.
But, Duolingo is not, really accurate Spanish. No, so trying to make a long story short, when I first started as a mortgage broker, I knew there was things I could do that direct lenders couldn't do.
Yeah.
So I would reach out to realtors and be like, hey, I'm not trying to get in between your relationship with who you're using, but if there's something they can't do, give me a second look.
Yeah.
Let me give it a second look. And then, for the first 2 or 3 months, it was just people who had really bad credit, right? Mm. And then out of nowhere, it just turned into people who didn't speak English.
Yeah.
So I would get a loan, it'd be whoever. I would look over, okay, their ID is good. They have income. They have money in the bank. I don't know why they're not getting approved.
Yeah.
Like, is there something that you guys aren't telling me? Like, what's wrong? They're like, no, they've been with this other lender for 2 months, and there's like this runaround, and there's this, and there's that. And they're like, well, they're perfect. They have credit, they have income, they have the money in the bank to buy. Like, everything's good. So, boom, they're approved. They go, they purchase another house, and then, like, I get another lead, and then I get another lead, and the common denominator ends up being they don't speak English.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah, so they've been with lenders for 1, 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
And
they're not able to figure out that just the smallest thing is just the language barrier.
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
I feel like, there was a lot of low-hanging fruit at that time. Mm-hmm. So they were like, oh, I'll just put these people on the back burner and let me just go after these easy things. And, like, there was nothing wrong. They had everything to buy a house. And then, of course, my name just grew in that community. My wife was my assistant at that time. She speaks Spanish and Portuguese.
Oh, wow.
She's Brazilian.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so, we started taking the applications in Spanish or Portuguese. So the realtors are like, oh, I don't have to translate anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to do the lender's job.
Yeah.
I can worry about finding clients, finding houses. They're taking care of it. So, that happened 6 years ago, and then I just continually just grew in the Latino Hispanic community.
I love that. I think, do you by any chance have, do you do food? Like you talk about food?
Yes.
What's your Instagram handle?
So on Instagram, I am that mortgage foodie.
I knew it. I was trying to connect the dots, and I was like, I've seen it before. I was like, where? That's awesome. So do you go to places and just kind of like try their food and talk about real estate? Is that like the purpose?
No. So before I was in real estate, everyone knew me as a foodie.
Yeah.
My Facebook was just like funny stuff and whatever, and my Instagram was pictures of food. And people were always like, "Oh man, you gotta do something with food. You should try to get on like the Food Network or something." Like, no. And then when I became a mortgage broker, and then later on, I was like, "Oh, let me try to figure out how to link mortgages and food and create the mortgage foodie, that mortage foodie."
That's awesome.
But we did just start again. My guy Omar Cedillo. We are on the quest for the best tacos in Charlotte.
Ooh.
We were at the Venom. I forgot how to say that in
El
Spanish.
Veneno?
Yes.
Yeah.
And our next one's at Superica. We're going to do one at Azul. We're going to go to Cape Fresa. We're going to go to Tacos on Nevado.
La Poblanita. You got to try that.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, Main Mexico.
Yes.
Magos, Taqueria. There's so many. and the food is delicious. Well, Larry, I appreciate you hopping on this podcast with us today, and thanks so much for supporting the Latino community with everything that you do. Real quick, how can people connect with you or find you besides That Mortgage Foodie?
Yeah, so on Instagram at That Mortgage Foodie. Obviously on Facebook, my name is Larry Hoyt, Hoyt. You can contact me 813-215-9074. That's my cell phone, and Larry at ctrbrokers.com. CTR is Choose the Right Brokers. ctrbrokers.com.
I love that. Well, thanks so much again, Larry, and I hope we can see you at the next podcast, man.
Yo, absolutely, definitely.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.